What is going on, guys? It's your boy XQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode Showtime with the Cube. As always, I've got the powerful one, Corey Hughes, the co-host. How you doing, Corey?
Excellent, sir. Thank you.
Oh yeah, doing good myself. Get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. First time to the channel, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. You're looking at us on YouTube. Listen to us on podcast platforms. Hit the follow button there. We appreciate everybody who's been checking us out so far. So today we're going to be looking at Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle. That's going to be the newest superhero movie coming from DC. Of course, The Flash will come before it. Looks like this one's going to be dropping in August, and this is a character that hasn't really been explored that much across the board. I don't know a ton about Blue Beetle, but this trailer looks intriguing. What do you know anything about Blue Beetle, Corey?
I sure don't.
Yeah, and you're the DC guy.
Yeah,
You're the DC guy.
I think I have a Blue Beetle comic from the New 52 from about 8-9 years ago, but I haven't ever gotten to it. I should probably check it out.
Yep. So what we're going to do, we're going to check this trailer out, guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick that thing off for you right now. So here is the trailer for Blue Beetle.
Excuse me, Mr. Reyes? You finished scraping the gum off that lounger or what?
Everything right now feels so out of reach.
You always land on your feet, bro. You're Hyman.
They don't get out much. Jenny?
Guard that with your life, but do not open it. You went in to get us jobs, and all you brought back was a hamburger?
Okay, I don't think it's a burger.
You haven't looked?
What the hell is that?
How did you get it to do that?
I think he likes me.
Hyman.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. What the?
Your host acquired.
Who said that? Okay, it's gonna be okay! I'm in space.
Re-entry systems ready.
Wait, no!
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
What is going on?
I just wanna
It's called the Scarab. It's some kind of world-destroying weapon. It's designed to protect its host.
This ain't what you want.
Sometimes it does what you want, and sometimes it doesn't.
I think I cut a bus in half.
The Scarab chose you, but it belongs to me.
The low you feel for your family makes you weak. I just wanna The universe has sent you a gift, and you have to figure out what you're gonna do with it.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Let's party.
Nice choice.
It's like Batman stuff. Batman's a fascist.
I just wanna
All right, so that's the Blue Beetle trailer right there. Corey, what was your initial thoughts when you seen that?
So I like it overall. For a couple reasons. It's simple. It's a very simple origin story. It brings back a sense of innocence, like they don't live in a world of superheroes, right? So it seems like they're not familiar with whatever's happening. And it's obviously an origin story, but it seems to have, at least the trailer presents to us, a more intimate relationship between the suit and the host, who is named Jaime, right? So I'm not even going to comment on the DEI requirements of the film, but I'm okay with them. Okay, so it seems like we have a Mexican American superhero who I bet's never been to Mexico. So I'm okay with all
Does he
that.
know Spanish? Do you think he knows Spanish?
Oh hell no. So, but I think that's totally fine, totally irrelevant, and it should have no impact on the plot whatsoever. And so then we have, who is that? Susan Sarandon, who allegedly is the owner of the Blue Beetle or the Scarab.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to have the rich bad person who doesn't get their thing right. So the movie seems like
Yeah.
nothing original. It's a collection of superhero tropes, but that could be okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Every superhero movie should be a collection of superhero tropes, right? So I think it looks okay. I'm not expecting an A+ in the acting department. It's going to have some cool graphics, and I think that I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. And remember, it's serving primarily as an origin story, and this is also a tester, right? So they're testing the market to see if the character picks up or not. Obviously,
Right.
they've done. These guys all do their own market research and bring in people to watch stuff, and they do all their market analysis. But I think it'll do okay. I don't think it'll be a major blockbuster in the theaters, but I think it'll do between like the low and mid end of like the superhero runs. It'll do better than
Okay.
Marvel's recent bunch.
Okay. When I watched it, I kind of what would I like to say? I kind of thought of Venom from Marvel, how it was kind of making that connection, host, like the thing from outer space with a host. So you got symbiotes in Marvel here. This is actually alien tech from what I've seen. This is alien tech, but it seems like it has to match with the host in order for things to work properly. So it kind of gave me that similar feeling right there on that end of the spectrum when I initially saw it. I think the film could do very well. The only thing I really know about Blue Beetle is from somebody playing Blue Beetle on a video game, and I thought it was it Injustice Gods Among Us.
Mhm.
I used to watch them play tournaments with that, and one of the people played Blue Beetle. And the character was really cool. I'm like, man, what's Blue Beetle? I've never seen Blue Beetle before. And then they're making the movie. I'm like, oh well, hell, this could be interesting right here, as far as the suit and everything goes. Now, I do believe it's going to have kind of a playful tone. You got George Lopez in it, so we know what he's going to be. Comedic relief.
Oh yeah.
He already said Batman's a fascist. So so he already hit you with that. Is Batman a fascist? Is that what he is?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He'd be more of like a corporate oligarch than a fascist, but whatever.
Okay. A benevolent overlord. Could we see him as that?
No, he's not benevolent. He's a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick. So it'll be very interesting on how they give us or if they give us a full origin of the suit and actually where it comes from in this particular film. I got a feeling that the villain might end up giving us those details as far as where the suit's from. That's usually how this happens in these origin stories. When you have the villain that's looking for a particular artifact or something, they know exactly where it came from, what the tech is. And if I had to guess, I got a feeling that we're going to see this somehow, some way tie into the greater scheme of things as far as their cinematic universe. I got a feeling that they might want to try to keep this on board as far as with the DC universe. What do you think about that? Even though they're doing a reboot, this is coming after the Flash. So do you think they might try to keep this on board as far as the DC universe?
I don't understand what they're doing well enough to understand whether this can fit into it or not. I mean, is what they're doing with this film with the Flash? Are they going to be tackling Flashpoint? Is that what they're doing?
Maybe.
And they're like
potentially,
and they're simultaneously pretending like that the TV show doesn't exist at all. Is that correct?
Yes, that's a separate property.
Because they already.
So that's the Elseworld. That's the Elseworld. I guess technically that would be Elseworld, because that's the way James Gunn said he wants to do things. You'll have your main DC universe, and then you have Elseworld side. You'll have the same character. So the Matt Reeves Batman, that's technically an Elseworld. Joaquin Phoenix Joker, that's technically an Elseworld. So you'll have Elseworld stuff within that's not within the actual DC universe. So that's going to be very confusing.
Yeah, like I'm ready to check out already. Like,
yeah.
so Flashpoint.
As
So let me explain something to the audience who might not understand this. So Flashpoint, DC needed to reboot everything. They were looking to reboot everything. And so they used the Flash and the Flashpoint series of comics to do that and to go back in time. Basically, he screws up the world or changes the world. And then you have the launch of what they called the DC New 52. They came out with 52 comics. And they only ran the New 52 for like 2 years, maybe 3 years tops. I don't even think it got to 3 years. And then they rebooted everything again. And so I got lost in DC when they rebooted everything a second time, right? So the DC New 52, I was fairly caught up with through the Flashpoint series. But they did another reboot and started over with Comic 1 again. So I don't understand what happened there. But that's the backstory to what we're going to see in this new movie with The Flash. What I'm kind of confused about is how they brought back Michael Keaton Batman and why they brought back Michael Keaton Batman and how did they do that without thinking that they were just going to look like they were stealing from Spider-Man, who did it masterfully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost basically the same film, kind of, a little bit.
I know that these things, these like I know if Coke comes out with cherry Coke, Pepsi has to have cherry Pepsi, right? But this is a little different, right? Like you're supposed to have your own independent story. Like I'm upset that there's a Justice League and an Avengers. Like to me, they're the same thing. Like they're it's too close, right? Like there's no individual identity, and people can argue over which one came first, but nobody really knows, right? DC and Marvel have always had this kind of competition back and forth, and so it'd be pointless to try to say which one came first with which type of character, right? You know, so but I don't know.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh well, we're talking. Well, we kind of got into the actual DC universe, which technically we haven't dove into James Gunn's vision yet. So this is technically pre-vision. So it's going to be very interesting on how they navigate these movies that's coming out because of course we had the Shazam movie, then we're going to have the Flash, Blue Beetle, and we're going to have Aquaman. So
here's something I am concerned about. So throughout history, we've had comics, and these were comic book companies, and they wrote comics, and people bought the comics, and then movie people loved them so much that they made movies out of the comics. But I don't want the cart to be before the horse. You know what I mean? I don't want them to get to a point where they're writing comics reactively to the movies. That would be heartbreaking. That's the death of comics. That's the death of comics right there. When the comics are just shadowing a movie series. Like, no, never. No. So when I don't want to hear shit about James Gunn's vision, because if he ain't sitting there writing all the DC comic books himself, I don't want him to start shaping the universe around film. Period.
Okay. I can understand that. So yeah. So it's gonna be interesting because as I said, well, we don't even know when this is gonna fall within the timeline. If it's gonna be technically before the Flash movie or the Flash movie is really a turning point on how they're going to tie future projects in with what was done before James Gunn got a hold of it. So I don't know if they did any type of changing within that as far as editing. If they hell, I don't think they could reshoot anything because Ezra Miller won't available. So I don't think they could really reshoot anything, which might make things kind of weird.
According to the execs, he's been rehabilitated.
Oh, is that right?
He's cured now.
Oh, so he don't think he's a they them anymore?
Who the fuck knows?
Okay. Because that would be rehabilitation. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't think he's Legion. I mean, that would be a rehabilitation. So does that mean they're going to bring him back as the Flash? Is that what that
I
means
think so.
officially?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the official word on the street.
So hold on a second. So Ezra Miller, I mean, didn't he have charges?
Yeah, but he works for Hollywood. That don't mean nothing. They get him out of stuff.
Okay,
You know how it goes.
Well, this is a bad look because you. I'm gonna throw this out. This is a bad look. You got a white male had charges on him. They bring him back. Jonathan Majors get a quote unquote. You know, he ain't even went to trial or nothing yet. They like, man, there's PR people dropping him, management team dropping him. Marvel hadn't dropped him yet. They're like, man, I hope things work out. But everybody been dropping him. Movie projects dropped him. I'm just like, man, this is not a bad look. I mean, let your boy know. I'm trying to figure it out. Is this a bad look? Y'all gonna bring Ezra Miller back, man, over here kidnapping folk and all kind of stuff? I mean, I said, man, we ain't have no choice, man. Who else we gonna have play the Flash? I don't know. Anybody else? Get the guy from the damn TV show. I mean, what's he doing? You know what I'm saying? Just bring him back. Flashpoint, somehow we got this Flash back. So let's just run with that. Blue Beetle, we start talking about the Flash because DC's gonna be screwed up. I got this feeling for a little while. But Blue Beetle, we think it could be very interesting. It's coming out in August, so we're going to see how that ties into the greater cinematic universe for DC. Hopefully, the film is refreshing, gives us something simple, and maybe it give us a decent villain, at least a decent one. I mean, what do you think? You think it might give us a decent one?
It's Susan Sarandon, so no.
Okay. Corey said no. So we want to know y'all's thoughts on the Blue Beetle trailer. If there's some things that y'all know about Blue Beetle that we don't know about, it seems that the suit gives you the usual stuff: superhuman strength, speed. Looks like he can shape shift. All that good jazz. So it gives you the requisite stuff that you need to fight aliens or other supervillains or whatever. So it looks like a run-of-the-mill suit. So let us know what y'all think about Blue Beetle in the comment section below. Appreciate everybody for checking us out on this episode of Showtime with the Cube from your boy HQ420, co-host Corey Hughes. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace out.